So welcome to Pilates. You got your mat ready. Feel free to play some music and stop and take water breaks whenever you like. Modify any of the movements. I usually progress in different ways, but you know your body best. Keep your head down on the ground if your neck's a little sore. Keep your feet on the ground if your lower back has any sort of hinges. Let's start with our breathing. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling out through the mouth. Even if I'm not talking about breathing, you want to keep breathing. Always be breathing. Inhale through the nose, exhale out through the mouth. Let's keep our shoulders down and away from the ears. Lengthen the neck, lifting through the crown of the head. And pretty much throughout this class, we'll also always have our head aligned with our spine. All right. Inhale. And exhale, and rolling down in, and exhale, roll down. Oh, this is so comfortable. Should we do anything else but just lie here and breathe? Inhaling through the nose, exhaling out through the mouth. Let's let our abdominals sink downward towards our spine. There's a small gap under the lower back. This is our neutral spine, neutral pelvis. Take a breath in and shift into imprinted spine. So that lower back makes contact with the mat. Inhale, return to neutral. Exhale, imprint. Inhale, neutral. Exhale, imprint. It's a little shifting of not just the lower back, but also the pelvis. Our pelvis is very much involved in our Pilates workouts. One more time, inhale to neutral, exhale, imprint. Keep that imprint and lift the legs to tabletop. Shins parallel to the floor, knees right over the hips. Exhale, reach a toe, reach the big toe to the floor. Actually, all the toes are gonna reach, right? Because they're stuck together. So keep the knees at 90 degrees if you can. We're not straightening the knees any further. We're not bending it. This should be just enough of a workout for abdominals to engage a little bit more to maintain the imprint as the leg reaches away. You can keep your eyes on the ceiling, keep the head and neck aligned with the spine. Exhale to lower. And we're going to add a little bit of crunch to this. So if you imagine that your shoulders maybe are attached to one of the knees at a time, as you lower the leg, you're going to exhale, crunch up. Inhale, return. Exhale, other leg. I've slowed it down a lot. That's okay. Anytime we move slowly, it works our add more. Exhale. Inhale, return. Exhale, tucking the chin, eye gaze on the kneecap, head, neck, and shoulder blades. Come off the mat, reach those arms actively. Inhale, return. Exhale. Last one here. And then we're going to keep the head, neck, and shoulder blades on the ground as we lower both legs. Keep in mind, you don't have to take the toes all the way to the ground when moving both legs. A lot more work for the abdominals. You want to make sure you keep the imprint. You can always go halfway down. Totally fine. Excellent. One more. Lift the legs back up. You should feel your quads and hip flexors here. And you can release the quads when you drop the heels. See that? And now you can take your feet on the floor with that knee bent. And we're going to push our hips up, squeezing our butt into our shoulder bridge. Feel free to adjust your feet if you need to. Inhale at the top. We're looking for neutral here. So shoulders, hip bones, and knees are in that one straight line. On the exhale, slowly roll down 1 inch at a time, 1 vertebra at a time. We call that articulation. My butt is still squeezing. even though it feels like jello here. And then my tailbone's on the ground. Inhale. Exhale. Repeats. Inch your way off the mats. Articulate your spine off the mats. Inhale at the top. And exhale. Roll down. 2 more just like that. Inhale. Exhale out through the mouth. Remember, we're always breathing. Inhale at the top. Exhale, roll down. Inhale and exhale. Putting motion in our spine. So we've already done some more crunches, so we're going to go into the hundreds. You can keep hundreds, your feet on the floor, pump your arms 100 times here. Feet together, here. Legs straight, hamstring stretch here. Legs on the diagonal. Today I'm going to move my legs between vertical and on the diagonal, but you can pick one position and stick with it. All right, nod the chin, lift the head, neck, and shoulders up, reach the arms actively, and start to pump those arms. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 10. Lower, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 20. Inhale. Exhale. 30. Inhale. Exhale. 40. Keep the upper body still. Exhale. 50. Inhale. Exhale. 60. Inhale. Exhale. 70. Inhale. Exhale. 80. So upper body doesn't change. We're staying stable. You can move your legs. We're pumping our arms at the shoulder joint. Last 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm not sure I did that right. I don't know what. I think I did 10 extra. Sorry about that. If that felt terrible, but I'm sure you survived it and everything feels great. So let's have the forearms on the ground for our spine extension. This is us lifting the top part of our rib cage off the ground, arching the back, doing the opposite of a crunch. Got to get our spine to extend and flex. So this is spine extension. Exhale to lower. Inhale, lift. Remember what I said about keeping the head and neck aligned with the spine? So the top part of our spine is curving at around the mid back. So we can still keep the head and neck aligned with the top part of the spine, or what we call the thoracic spine. Inhale, lift, exhale, to lower. Now there's different arm positions. So we're going to take the arms away if you like. Take any arm variation you like. Reach the arms toward your toes. Squeeze your shoulder blades together just a tad more as you inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Now, if this bothers your lower back in any way, there's no set height requirement that you must lift your chest. Even just an inch off the ground right here is great because it recruits your spine muscles. Recruits that muscle around your spine column, no matter how high you lift. Let's do one more here. Take those hands underneath the shoulders, push yourself up and stretch. So the spine muscles are a little more delicate. It's important to not ignore them though. So don't ever feel obligated to do as many as I'm doing and lift as high as you'd like. So going into our forearms for a plank, this is our isometric. We want to have a neutral spine here. So see if you can form a line that would go through your ears, shoulders, hip bone, knees, and ankle. Try this position first. And if you find that it's either bothering your lower back or very challenging, lift your butt up a little higher and see how that is. Still want it to feel challenging. If that's still too much, then I would say drop to your knees. But try to lift your butt first before going to your knees. Let's take a couple more breaths. Eye gaze on your thumbs. Inhale. Exhale. This is just a great way to continue our warm up here. Hopefully it's building heat in your body, which allows you to be more flexible. Last breath in and exhale out. All right. Let's start with half rollbacks because if for some reason you hate doing roll-ups, then you can continue doing half rollbacks while we do the roll-up series. And then you can jump in when we do the next series. All right. So one thing progresses into the other. The half rollback is exactly as it sounds like. We're gonna roll back and stop halfway, roughly. Feel your abdominals, spine flexion is when it curves. When you're like folding in half, that's the spine flexion. So you can either come as straight as you can, or you can keep the seeker. Up to you. Let's try to anchor the toes as we exhale. We're gonna make some arm circles. Anytime you change the position of your arms, it affects how your abs feel. You can make the circles as big or small as you like. Right now, I'm reaching my arms forward. This is sort of the basic rollback arm position. Shoulders down, away from the ears. Good. When I've done this in the past, I would circle down first and then up and over. I'm actually gonna go the reverse today. So I'm gonna take one arm and lift it up. I'm gonna circle out to the side, like I'm reaching for you. And then I'm gonna bring it back to where it started. So I'm gonna do my half rollback. Inhale, exhale. Arms high, arms to the side, and then forward. Now remember, you can make your circle smaller, so it doesn't have to go to the side. It can be like right here, sort of like right in this corner, okay? All right, let's get our breathing right. Here's our inhale. So here we exhale, circle the arms up, side, inhale here. Exhale. Inhale. Generally, we exhale during the part of the exercise that takes the most amount of exertion, the hardest part, where we naturally want to squeeze our abs the most. If you find that that is when you're coming up, then I want you to exhale there, okay? You don't have to listen to what I'm saying. I just want you to be breathing. So if you find that you recruit more abs as you go back here, exhale, and you really want that recruitment, and then less work as you come up, inhale, great. But if you want to inhale here, because you find that there's so much work as you crunch up and exhale, okay, does that make sense? I want the breathing to kind of come natural for you. And holding the breath is just never an option. Even if it feels like that's the right thing to do because it's so hard. All right, if you would like to do 2 more with one arm at a time, go for it. Or do 2 more with both arms. Let's try it. Exhale. I'm just cueing what I'm doing. But we're going to breathe arms high, side, and forward. One more time. Half roll back, arms high. Not going behind my ears. Out to the side. Oh, I feel my abs so much. Don't try to laugh there. It's only going to make it worse. Let's roll all the way down. If you want to continue doing half rollbacks, you can. We're going to do the full roll up here. Flex your foot. Press your heel down to the mat. Squeeze your legs so your quads are engaged even before we start. Inhale, arms, not the chin. Reach for the toes. You want to articulate your spine off the floor. I'm going to give you some options if you find that you're kind of getting to a sticky point. So there's your roll up option here. Bring a leg up to tabletop. If you find you're getting stuck, use the leg to kick out, which will hopefully help kind of get you through that sticky point. All right? Practice keeping your heels down as you roll down. Just to create some symmetry, I'm just going to do the other leg here. Inhale, arms. Exhale, abs here. Peel the spine off. This is a very nice stretch. Lower back, hamstring. Take your time with it. Heavy legs, strong legs, anchored legs. Anchor to the floor. and roll down. Let's change some arm positions. Inhale, arms, head, shoulders, reach forward on the way up. So remember that circling arms, so we can circle the arms high. Bring it out to the side. Woo! I just circled my arms like this as I roll down. Now it's back to my head. At your own pace. This exercise is as much about the hamstring stretch as it is about the articulation of the spine. So it is about your spine being mobile enough that you can peel your spine off one vertebra at a time. As opposed, if you feel like you're getting stuck, it's usually because your spine is coming up in chunks of vertebrae. And it's not to be concerned about. Like the more you do the roll up, the more your spine will become more flexible. If we sit in a certain position all day, our spine does get to be a little more stiff. All right, this is our last one. Do what you like with the arms. If you want to keep it high, you can. That also changes the workout. So we'll go into our abdominal series here. I know that's a lot of abs already. Actually, let's go over real fast. We'll start our abdominal series with fresh abs. So let's go here into our spine. So let's get some more shoulder movements. So if we start with our forearms on the ground, you can imagine like your arms are like this in a W. So we're gonna learn the alphabet here. Here's the W. Lift your chest, arms, and head all as one unit. So your W is now floating. You're going to reach to the corners of the room for the Y. You're going to pull back, maybe lift a little bit more for that W. Feel your shoulder blades squeeze together, and then lower. Now, if the Y does not feel comfortable for your shoulders, you can reach into a T, which is out to the side. So let me show you that as well. Inhale, W. Exhale, reach side to the T. Inhale, W. Exhale, lower. So you can pick between a Y or a T, or any angle in between that. Tops of the feet anchor to the floor. Reach, pull, and lower. Keep alternating your breath. Lift. Head and neck aligned with the spine. Reach, pull, lower. 2 more times. We are keeping our spine up for a longer period while our arms move, so some endurance of the spine muscles. We're not going to do too many here. Okay, that's enough. Oof. So we want to balance out our abdominals with the spine work. That's what makes for a whole healthy midsection here. Okay. Now, the ab series. Let's do it backwards. Let's do it in reverse. We'll start with bent knee, scissors. So you've already seen this before. In front of the lower back. So that was in our warm-up when we did bent knee, alternating toe taps. So let's go ahead and see if we can do this with our head, neck, and shoulders lifted. You can put your head down anytime. We do build up neck endurance over time. So here, we're tapping it out. And then if you'd like to bring your legs straighter and straighter and straighter. Flex foot, pointed foot, your choice. So I've also traditionally grabbed the leg, but you don't have to. You just reach your arms forward and your legs have to do a lot of work to support itself. This is very challenging. Feel free to keep the knees bent. Exhale. Inhale, switch. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Legs up together. Bend. Double leg stretch. Reach. and return. Head down version, your arms will reach close to your ears, and that's it. Or it can reach high. You pick the angle. But the furthest your arms can go is just ahead of your ears. So you don't want it to come to the mat and relax. So if your head, neck, and shoulders are up, your arms aren't gonna come back here. So I'm gonna stop where your ears are. Exhale, reach. Inhale. Exhale. Last two. Last one. Good. Lower the head, neck, and shoulders for a moment. We're going to go into obliques. So extend one leg out and then the other. That's like the single leg stretch. Hands behind the head, lifting head, neck, and shoulders, and rotate towards that bent knee. Inhale, pause at center. Exhale, rotate to the other. Inhale, pause at center. With legs and tabletop. Exhale, rotate. Inhale, both shoulder blades off the ground. Exhale, just a slight variation of the bicycle obliques. Inhale. Exhale. You can reach the leg higher if you like. Our goal is to try to keep the shoulder blades off the ground. Even this one, the one that's lower towards the ground. It's still off the ground. One more on each side. Good. I'm actually not going to do single leg stretch because it's quite fatiguing, but I'm going to just do a variation of it. So straighten those legs out. If you need a quick ab stretch, this is one way of doing it. You deeply arch that back off the mat. This is what not to do if you are trying to work your abs. So if your rib cage has ever popped out like that, you can be assured that your abs are engaged. So draw the abs down and in. Reach the legs up. So for single leg stretch, normally we crunch up like this, or we hold this knee. But now I'm going to have you lift this bottom leg, okay? You have a couple of choices. You can lift it to the single leg stretch position. Just a quick recap, this is single leg stretch. You just stretch one leg out. Okay, we're just doing a variation of it. So you can lift it, or what you can do is bend it and then straighten it. Okay, or keep it bent like this. Because I understand the challenges of lifting a leg straight off the ground. Like this. Especially for the lower back. All right. Let's do this. Sorry, I was just demonstrating stuff. So let's bring the front leg up. Lift the head, neck, and shoulders. Brace those abs. Exhale to lift the leg. Inhale to lower. Exhale to lift. Inhale, lower. You can hug the knee more towards the stomach and it'll be a little easier. If the knee is exactly in tabletop, it is more challenging. Give me one more. You gotta lower the head, neck, and shoulders, lower the leg, and get ready for the other side. Head, neck, and shoulders up. Feel free to keep the head, neck, and shoulders down. If you lift the head, then the shoulders are coming up too. Exhale. Inhale. 3 more times. All right, good. Now that our abs are pretty fatigued, we can lay on our side and do some side lying leg work. So why do we do this? It's because our outer thighs help stabilize our pelvis, and a stable pelvis will mean a stable spine because our spine inserts into the pelvis. Okay, so you want to align your whole body to the edge of your mat. I'm assuming your mat has a straight edge. I would line your arm just to have your head in neutral, because if you had your arm out like that, this is not a neutral neck position. Okay, top arm. We'd just like you to take it off for a moment. Make sure you feel a little unstable. That way you know you're lying exactly on your side. And then you can use a kickstand, a few fingers. Okay, the first exercise we'll do is the side lying leg lift. I mean, it's literally called the leg lift, and then we have other names for it. But this whole thing is called the sideline leg lift series. Keep your leg strong and straight. So I'm really squeezing my quadriceps. I'm pointing my toes. If your foot is cramping, you can flex your foot. Or if you just prefer a nice calf stretch, you can flex your foot. I'm not worried too much about the bottom leg. It shouldn't be completely relaxed. There's a little bit of engagement just for stability. I'm going to point my toes again. Now, if you don't need your arm, try this, just for fun. Just do maybe 5 times. So if you rock back onto your butts and you feel pretty stable, well, you don't want to be on your butt. You actually want to be on exactly the side seam of your pants. If there's a seam on the side of your shirt and the pants, that's where you want to be, that little line. Okay, let's put our hands back down. 4 little circles. So leg held at hip height, circle, inhale for 1. Exhale for 2, slow and small. 3, size of a golf ball, 4. 2 more. Last one, 6 in the opposite direction. Inhale, exhale, inhale. Last one here. Outer thigh should be feeling pretty fatigued now. You can lower it. Both legs will go up. Both legs will go down. If you'd like to try this exercise without the kickstand hand, you can try. You're not really doing much with the shoulders or anything. It's not like your arms doing a lot of work lifting it up against gravity, but it's the coordination of it and the challenge that your hand is off the ground. Okay, whoa, almost fell over. Your body is straight right now. We're going to bend our knees towards the front of the mats, or just towards the front of the room, whatever direction you're facing. And if you pull your knees forward at about the same rate, but keeping your feet aligned with the rest of your body. So it's now ears, shoulders, hips, and then my feet. In other words, if you want to have your entire body aligned with the back edge of your mats, then you know you're in the right position. Your knees are about 90 degrees. Your hips are about 135. 90 plus 45, right? And then this is called clamshell. This is rotation, external rotation. You don't really need your kickstand hand anymore because your knees are bent, but you want to keep your feet together. And you know your knees or your legs are externally rotating at the hip socket when your kneecaps go from facing forward to facing toward the ceiling. Okay? Anytime your kneecaps face a different direction, that's rotation of your thigh bone. So you can internally rotate where your knees will face inward, which we're going to do in just a bit. Now try not to lean back. See how I leaned back while I opened up? I don't have a wall right behind me, but I'm going to pretend there's a wall there so that I don't lean back. Okay, so this is external rotation. We're going to lift the feet, separate them, but not the knees. Notice where the kneecaps face. Downward, inward. So this is internal rotation. Feels different. But healthy legs, healthy hips should be able to do both. You should be able to rotate inward and outward. Keep alternating your breath. So we're going to go from internal to external. How do we do that? My knees are going to come apart and my toes are going to come together. Flip. Flip that shin. I said shin. So if you look at my shin bone, which is a little easier to process, it's going from this slant or one diagonal to the other diagonal. Find your extremes. What's the farthest you can get your feet apart when your knees are together? And what's the farthest you can get your knees apart when your feet are together? How do your legs feel? Should we stop? This feels terrible. Okay. We're going to do one more exercise, though, before we switch to the other side. And basically, I'm going to go back to neutral rotation. So neutral rotation. All right, last one. Neutral rotation, kneecaps forward. So how do you lift your leg in neutral rotation? Like this, where the knees and the feet come apart at the same rates. And your kneecap stays facing forward. I'm guessing you're feeling as much pain as I am. And by pain, I mean muscular work. Let's do 4 more, 3 more. So the reason why sideline leg lifts is so painful is because we don't walk sideways. We don't do much stuff on the side. Right? We're like either walking forward or we're walking forward. I mean, I don't think anyone's walking backwards either. All right, I'm going to align myself to the back edge of my mat. Okay. I like to, once again, lift my arm up just to make sure I'm in the right position. Because if I don't feel a little wobbly, I'm most likely in the wrong position. You shouldn't feel too stable. The kickstand hand gives your legs and arm, or your body, the stability. So what have we done here? Whatever we're doing on this side, whatever we did on the other side, we're doing on this side. So first the leg lifts. No higher than the hip because we're trying to keep the pelvis level. This is about finding the range of motion you have in your hip socket without disturbing your pelvis. If you lift your leg too high, your pelvis shifts up, which if I were to, you can see my hand move when my leg lifts too high. Squeeze your quadriceps, your thigh muscles, that muscle right above your kneecaps. Helps to keep your leg very strong, straight, and lengthened. Should we add the arms here just for a little bit of balance challenge here? You can have your arms up the entire time, like even when you do little circles like this. But I find it to be very challenging for little circles, that my whole body is kind of shifting too much, and that takes away from the exercise. Let's move into our little circles. So if you're moving too much, if your body's moving too much, you're not going to get the benefit of the exercise. So I recommend having the hand on the ground unless you are able to keep your body absolutely still when your hand's off the mat. Reverse for 6. Oh, I better count these because I don't want to do extra. So painful. 3 more. And just as our top leg gets so tired, we can place it down on the top, on the bottom. Place the top leg on the bottom and lift both. Both legs are straight, squeezing together. And let the bottom leg do a little bit more work. Shall we remove the kickstand arm? See, when it's just up and down, I'm able to stabilize more, but the circles are hard because it's a forward, back, up, and down. So that's the challenging part where it's going forward and back. Okay, so we can go ahead and bend the legs. Once again, my butt, I can feel that my butt is right on the edge of my mat, and I can feel that my feet are at the edge of my mat. So I know I'm roughly about, I know my body's aligned here with my feet. And then we're going to do our clamshell. You may find that the range of motion you have during external rotation will be different from side to side. You know, your right hip may not be the same as your left hip. We don't always favor one leg, and if you've had any injuries on one side, it's going to affect range of motion. It's going to affect the muscles. Let's do internal rotation. So that's this, just the feet come apart. If you've ever taken ballet, they do a lot of things in turnout. I've trained a former ballerina, and her default is that she's turned out. Like if I ask her to put her feet in neutral, she finds that it feels so foreign to her. So now let's go from as much internally rotated as we can to as externally rotated as we can. Okay, and then we're going to finish off with our neutral. I'm just finishing off with neutral because neutral in general is best. Knees and feet come off, separate together, come to hip height. Knee bend stays about 90 degrees. Couple more. You can roll onto your backside for a quick glute stretch. I'm going to try something new. Not try. I'm going to do something. So here's the next exercise. You're going to come to the front edge of your mats. And the reason why you want to be on the front edge of your mat is because we're going to roll onto our butts like that. And if you are on the back edge of your mat, you will roll right off your mat. Okay, so we're once again on our side. And what we're going to do is we're going to go from the side, roll back, but as we roll back, we're going to pike. So that means forming a V. First time I'm going to do it with my knees bent, the second time I'm going to do it with my legs straight. Okay, so roll onto your butts, and as you're rolling, I start to lift my legs, and then I did that too slowly, so I had to use my hands, but feel free to use your hands. And then we're here. Okay, and if you roll a little faster next time, we should be able to come all the way up. So this is actually the end of a teaser look. So if you've done teasers, this is how we finish our teaser. So we're going to go back down, same side, so come to the same side you were. All right, I'm going to do it a little faster. A little bit of momentum maybe, but teasers, remember, require also a little bit of momentum. So let's see here. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, roll, and lift. There you go. How do we do it? Hands can be here, and then lift to here. Oh, I said I was going to do it with my legs straight, right? I'll do it next time. All right, open up. Find your side. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, roll back, reach, and pike. Inhale, hold. Exhale, open up. Any questions? We gotta try it on the other side. Let's do one more time on this side. This is new. At least I haven't taught this before. So let's just take time to practice it. Roll onto the butts. Crunch up. There's a bent knee version, leg straight version, bent knee version. As I'm coming down, I'm just starting to use my obliques to roll to my side. That's the one main difference. You guys, you have done teasers before, and we usually just fall onto our back or roll onto our back. Let's try the same thing on the other side. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, roll onto your butt. And find your final teaser position. Inhale. exhale. I'm going to open up like a teaser, like a, counterbalancing the movement. I'm going to reach my arm. There's my back. Keep my feet together, hopefully. And there we are. It does require a little bit of coordination, a little more obliques than we're used to. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, roll, hike, lift. Inhale, hold. Exhale, lower, reach. And we're back to here. Whew. Let's try 3 more times. You're welcome to do our traditional teasers if you remember what that looks like, because we've done that in the past. But just trying a new teaser entry. Onto the butts, hiking, reaching. Again, bend the knees. It doesn't have to be this much. It can be this much. It can be this much. It's really up to you. Inhale, hold, exhale. Control it on the way down. Did I say 2 more? 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. I think we did 5 on each side. Okay, finish here. Okay, let's give our abs a little break. Come onto our stomach. And then let's lift our legs this time. So stacking those hands underneath the forehead. Lift the front leg, lower, lift the back leg. Legs are nice and straight, squeezing the butts. And then once that feels pretty good to you, if you like, you can lift the upper body with the one leg. Inhale, lift, exhale, lower. And lift. If that feels too much for your spine, you can keep the legs down and work on just the upper body. Four more. And last 2. Last one. Okay. Push yourself back. I was going to do some additional teasers, but maybe that's too much. Let's do some glute work. We did our outer thigh work. So glute work is here. This is our shoulder bridge. So instead of articulating our way into the shoulder bridge, we are going to lift straight up, that neutral spine. The entire spine comes up, the entire spine goes down. Tailbone up, tailbone down. All right. Usually I have our hands on the ground for stability. Let's try to do it with our arms up. Feel free to keep the arms down. So arms here. See how it feels when both feet are on the ground, hip distance apart. The challenge is when the arms are off the ground and one leg is off the ground. I'm gonna lift the front leg, tabletop. Both right and left hips are still coming up to the same height, ideally. 4 more here. My elbows are soft, not like straining my arms here. It's just off the ground. Let's try the other leg. We want the right and left hip coming to the same height. Sometimes people try to push the hip of the leg that's not on the ground higher. I mean, the default is that it goes lower, but we don't want that leg higher or hip higher. We just want the same height. Couple more. Maybe your legs are getting tired. Again, this is pelvis stability. So here's one more challenge as we lift the leg. I'm going to straighten my leg just to get a little more hamstring stretch, a little more quad work, but you can keep your leg straight. I'm going to add some arm movements. Now Thing about the arm movement is you don't want to arch your back. You don't want to pop the rib cage. You just got to keep the abs really braced. So I'm bringing my front leg up again. All right. I'm going to circle my arms and my legs to my head like this, when my leg is straight, and then I'm going to bend it. And I'm keeping the hips up for some isometrics. Exhale. Inhale, abs tight. Exhale, inhale, exhale. A lot of endurance work with that remaining leg on the ground. 4. You don't have to straighten your leg all the way. 3, 2, so there's a partial straightening. And 1. Lower your butt. Relax your arms for a moment. Isometrics is when a lot of muscles, or your muscles are engaged and squeezing, but there's no movement. So I lift my butt up, that butt squeezing, and it stays up there. Similar to a plank. Let's try the other side. Oh, sorry, here. Straighten arms and over. It's like your arm is connected to your toes, and as your arms move, it pulls the toes up. And then when your knee bends, the toes pull the hands back to its position over the shoulders. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. And lower. All right. Let's flip over and finish with a plank. Just hit different muscle groups here. If you want to do planks, if you want to do it on your elbows, you can. I did the earlier one on the elbow. It works your arms and shoulders differently when you're on your wrist. So I'm going to do this one on the wrist. Reach the heel to the back room. Similar to what I said on the wrist, I encourage you to lift your butt a little higher if you feel like the plank is a little too challenging or it hurts your lower back. And then if that doesn't work, then go to your knees. Okay. So do that straight line here. Eye gaze on the floor between the thumbs. Take an inhale and an exhale. Good. So without moving the knees, squeeze the butt. You're wanting to bend a knee without moving the knee. So basically, I don't want to drop the knee. I don't want to lift the knee. Bend. Straight. Other side. Bend. Straighten. You can keep the foot flexed. Bend. Straighten. Doing my best not to move the knees. Good. One more time each side. And last time. Well done. All right. I'm going to stretch this out. Standing. If you've ever done saw is where we straddle our legs and reach across and saw our pinky toe off. That's why Joseph Pilates called it saw. So we can do what's called a standing saw. So take your feet as wide as you like. Reach your arms out. Rotate. Dive down with the opposite arm towards the pinky toe or whatever you can reach. Other arm reaches high. Hang out here for a moment. So try to grab something. So if it's not your pinky toe or your foot, maybe it's the outside of your shin, grab it, whatever it is. Anchor yourself into the stretch. If you want, you can bend the elbow and pull yourself a little deeper into the rotation and into the stretch. But you can't do that unless you're anchored. Now slowly stand up, roll up, untwist, twist to the other side. I'm hitting my wall here. I'm going to move forward. There, dive down. So this is called standing saw. You can go as wide as you like. And obviously the wider you go, the more you're going to feel in the inner thighs. Right now, I'm definitely feeling the hamstrings, a little bit in the obliques, even across the back. A little bit of the chest and shoulders too, as I reach my arms up and back. Go ahead and roll up. And we will end there. Just roll your shoulders back. Think about your posture. Think about your breathing. Actually, you don't need to think about your breathing. It happens involuntarily. But I do want to say that try to remind yourself about your posture as you go about throughout your day. Thank you all for coming.